Hi guys, welcome for another fun tutorial. In the last one, I showed you how to create this single colored little small Easter basket. And for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this multicolored, it's my first small Easter basket. So if you are ready, the materials you will need are some scissors, an 8mm crochet hook, and a tapestry needle. You can use a stitch marker if you're a very beginner, and that's very optional. And for the amount of cord you will need about 125 of one color and approximately 25 feet of the other two colors. So if you're ready, let's get started. And the cord I am using is Ganxxet's 4mm single cotton string. I will link this cord down below. So with your first base color, I will be using this oat color. We are going to create a magic ring. And then we will crochet 9 half double crochets into the magic circle. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. That is your first half double crochet. And continue to do 8 more of these into the magic ring. So yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, you have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. Once we have completed the 9 half double crochets, you can count your V's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and we're going to slip stitch into that 9th chain. So insert your hook without yarning over, you're going to pull up a loop. You have 2, and then you're going to pull through like so, and then chain 1. Now we can begin round 2. So for round 2, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to half double crochet 2 into every stitch all the way around. So half double crochet 2 into every stitch for a total of 18 half double crochets all the way around. So that's my first 2 into the same stitch, and then 2 into every stitch. Once you finish doing 2 half double crochets into each stitch, you should have a total of 18 half double crochets all the way around. And I went in and dragged my tail. I don't know if you did, if you're more advanced, or if not, if you left a little tail, that's okay. You can weave it in later. No worries on that. So to continue this pattern, we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round and then chain 1. And for this pattern, for round 3, we're going to single crochet 1 into the same stitch and then single crochet 2 into the next stitch. And that would be our pattern for this round. 1 half double crochet into 1, 2 half double crochets into the next. So 1, 2, 1, and then 2. And if you complete that pattern all the way around, you should have a total of 27 half double crochets. Now that you finish that pattern all the way around with 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you should have a total of 27 half double crochets all the way around. So let's close this round by slip stitching into the first stitch of that round and then chain 1. And now we can begin our 4th row. This is our final base round. So for round 4, we're going to have double crochet 1 into the same stitch and half double crochet 1 into the next stitch. Okay, so 1, 1, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets into that 3rd stitch. Okay, so 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So complete this same pattern, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, all the way around, and you will have a total of 36 half double crochets, and I'll meet you back on this side. Okay, so now that you finished that round 4, you should have a total of 36 half double crochets all the way around. And we can close this by slip stitching into the first chain of, or first stitch of that round. So let's slip stitch and then chain 1. And now we are going to do single crochets, but we are going to do single crochets into the back loop only. So the back loop is this top loop right here. And we are not going to single crochet into the same stitch. We are going to single crochet into the next stitch, which is this one. So insert your hook into here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is your first single crochet of that round. And if you need to, you can place a stitch marker right here, totally optional. If not, we will continue. So back loop onlys, single crochet all the way around now. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. So continue single crocheting all the way around these back loops only, okay? Back loops only, because this is now creating that base. Okay, so single crochet all the way around. You will only have 35 single crochets because we did not single crochet into that same stitch. Okay, so continue doing this for a total of 35 single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you back over here. Okay, once you're done single crocheting all the way around, back loop only, and you finish that 35, we are going to not slip stitch, but we're going to enter our hook into the first stitch of that round, yarn over, pull that color through. You only have 2, and right here we're going to stop. Okay, and I'm going to cut a tail of that oat color, cut a long enough tail. Okay, because now we're going to add a new color. So get your new color out. And now what we're going to do is that new color, we're going to fold it in half, leaving a tail as well, okay? Fold it in half and leave the tail on the right side. So now what we're going to do is with our hook, we're going to grab that color and pull it through both loops and chain 1 with the long cord. Now that we're adding in the new color, I suggest that we drag these along, because if I start working with this new color and then say this oat starts to get loose, like it's gonna be hard to start weaving it in without you seeing some of these colors. So I suggest you start dragging it on. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? So just keep the short tails to the left, like when you're holding your basket, just hold it in place, okay? So let's start single crocheting into the same stitch with your new color. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That is your first single crochet of that round, and let's do it again. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the second single crochet. And as you're doing this and as you're holding, like keeping these 2 little cords here, you can see that we're starting to single crochet around those 2 little cords. See, and we're just going to drag it along, and it's going to be easier to cut later. So let's just continue doing that, single crochet into every stitch until we come back to this side, and then we're going to add in a third color. So as you single crochet and as you hold these here and you single crochet over them, they're staying in place now. So hopefully that's easier for you. So continue doing this all the way around, and I'll meet you back over here. I finished single crocheting all the way around for 35 single crochets. And as I started dragging this a little bit, once you get enough through, like once it's dragged in a little bit, you can then just move it to the side and continue just single crocheting without holding onto these. And then after, we can just snip them. We don't have to weave them in. Okay, so now that we finished that 6th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch of that row. Okay, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2, and we're going to stop again. So now leave a tail, cut a good little tail of that color. And now bring in your third color. I'm going to use Toast. So for our third color, we're going to do the same thing. Leave a good little tail, fold it in half, We have 2 on our hook, so grab that third color, hook it on, and pull it through both, and then chain 1. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag this cord around. So single crochet with your new color, insert your hook into that same stitch, and single crochet. So continue to single crochet all the way around while holding the cord, and then I'm going to show you when I just move it out the way. So I like to do it for a few a few rows or a few stitches, like so. See how I start getting close to the edge right here? Then I'll just move them out the way and continue my single crochet. And now these are just hanging in there. Continue single crocheting with this new third color all the way around for a total of 35 single crochets, and I'll meet you back over here. Now that you've finished single crocheting all the way around, this is row 7, so we're gonna insert our hook into the first stitch of that round, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 on your hook, and now we're gonna snip it. Leave a little tail, and then go back to your base color, or if you want another color. This basket is totally customizable, so you can do whatever colors you like, however many rows you like. So for me, I'm gonna go back to the base color, which is my oat. So I'm gonna fold that in half, leaving a tail as well. Attach it to your hook, and then I'm gonna pull it through both of those, and then chain 1. Now this is row 8. We are going to drag these along as well. We're going to single crochet into the same stitch and into every stitch all the way around until we get back over here. So we are almost done with this. For row 8 and row 9, I'm going to work in the same color. So just continue single crocheting all the way around. Now that you single crocheted all the way around, we can slip stitch. So enter your hook into the first stitch of that row, round, okay, going through. And since we're not changing colors, we can just chain 1 and continue single crochet into that same stitch and all the way around. This is your final row for your base. So continue single crocheting for row 9, and I'll meet you back on this side and I'll show you how to seal this off. Okay, after your row 9, we are going to seal this. So complete a slip stitch. So let's slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, and then cut a tail. Cut a good sized tail to weave in. Okay, so cut a good little tail, and now right here we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull it through. So yarn over and pull it through, and then pull. And now we're going to grab our tapestry needle and run the cord through, and now we're going to weave it in. So I always go to the left side. So I'll come in through the back right here. So then I'll go in, then I'll go out, then I'll go in one more time. Now that I brought it in that last time, now I'm going to drag it through the inside into these stitches right here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So come in through the top and then go down like so. And then do that to the next one. And then the next one. And then the next one. And finally, the next one. And now, once we did that, we can cut it. And now you can cut these ones, the two that you dragged in. And as far as the bottom one, if you didn't drag it in, now is the time to weave that one in and cut it. So now that you've cut everything in, this is your bottom base basket. And now we're going to work on the handles. So for the handles, you're gonna need the same oak color, approximately 2 strands, 8 feet long, okay? So I have my 2 here. I'm gonna start with this bottom thing, measure it evenly, and I'm just going to eyeball how high I would like my basket handle, because I'm gonna go from one side to the other side, leaving a little bit of the tail down right here because we're gonna need to weave that in. So mine's about here. So what I'm gonna do is fold that in half. I'm gonna measure eyeball where the middle is. So I'm gonna close it off like this, and then I get a corner, and you see these 2 right here? These 2 that are cinched, I'm gonna insert my cord into one here and one here. So now that I'm holding these 2 that I know, I'm going to insert my hook from the inside and grab one of those loops, pull it through, and I'm going to make sure, I'm gonna hold this in half still right here. I'm going to make sure that my smaller tail, which is this one, is on the inside. Right now it's on the outside, so I'm just gonna rotate it and put it to the inside. And then fish it through like that, creating a lark's head knot. You can feel free to rewind this if you need to see it again, and then tighten. And so since I did it to the top one, I know this one was also cinched, so I'm gonna insert my hook, grab that one that I still had in half, the second cord, run it through, and make sure that the smaller tail is also in the middle for this one. So it's right here, so I gotta rotate it because that's not the middle. So rotate, grab this, and fish all that through. Okay, now that we did that, it's gonna be the little tricky part. So I'm gonna need something to hold this. It's a little harder to do it on camera, but I'm gonna show you how to do square knots now for the handle, okay? So continue to make sure that the small tail is in the middle, and correct, it is. So we are going to start with the right, okay? So with the right cord, bring it over to the left. With the left cord, bring that over the right cord, and move that left one under the middle two over to the right and pull it through. So now these 2 cords are in the middle of those 2, and this will continue to be in the middle. And tighten like that. Tighten both edges. Okay, so now that we know we just started with the right one on this one, now we're gonna have to start with the left one. Now with the left cord, we're gonna bring it over to the right. The right cord, we're gonna bring it over that left, under the middle 2, over to the right. I mean left, sorry. And then this stays in the middle, and then pull, tighten. That's your first square knot. So you know you started with the left, so this is a thing. If you start with the left, the next one you gotta start with the right. If you start with the right, then you gotta start with the left. So it's a back and forth system. So since this last one was started with the left, now we're gonna have to do with the right. So with the right one, go over to the left. The left one, bring it over that right, under the middle, to the right, pull. Tighten. Okay, so now we got to start with the left. And as you start going, you see these little bump indicators. So this is going to tell you now we have to start with the left. Okay, so we're going to continue this back and forth system until this is long enough, till it's able to create a handle, okay? So now this indicator, now I'm going to start with the right. So with the right one, I'm going to go to the left one, bring it over, under to the right, tighten, okay? Now this little lump's on the left, okay? Now I'm going to go to left to the right, and then go from the right to the left, and tighten. And continue to do this until this handle is long enough, okay? The more you practice, the more you'll get the hang of it. I'm used to it, so it looks like I'm going fast for you. But if you guys want to rewind it to take your time slowly, continue the pattern, feel free to do so. I'm just going to create these square knots until my handle is long enough. And then I'll meet you back to show you how to assemble that. Okay, so just keep doing this back and forth system. Continue to keep making the square knots. It should start to look like this. Your square knots should start to look like this. So if they start to look like this, you know you're doing it correctly and you can continue. If it's not looking like this, you're going to have to take these apart like so. Continue to take them apart like that, one by one. and you can restart. So just continue that, and I'll meet you back as soon as this is long enough for me. Okay, now that my handle is the desired amount that I wish to have. Okay, so now I'm going to seal this in half, like wherever the cinch is on this side, to measure where it's going to be on this side to attach my handle. So I see that it's these two parts right here, so this side and this side. So I'm going to go into both of these. So just hold it with your finger, put this over here, and into the top one, grab the two right sides and fish those through. So since I did the top, I know that the bottom one also needs to. So then the two left ones, I'll bring those through again. Okay. And then you'll see that I need to tighten. So we're going to start with the first inside ones. Okay, so the two middle ones I'm going to tighten, and I'm going to do 2 knots. So 1 and 2. And then I'm going to grab my tapestry needle, run either left or right, does not matter. I'm going to touch it, and I'm going to run it down the middle. So down these little stitches that I showed you how to do when we sealed the bottom basket. So bring it down those. And I'm going to also do it with the right one. Okay, so leave that there. Now grab your tapestry needle and do the other one. And I don't go through the same one, so then go through the one next to it. And then run this one down as well. Now do the same with the 2 outside cords. Okay. Tie 2 knots. So 1 and 2. So this one I'm going to run through the side. So add your tapestry needle. I'm starting with the right side. I'm going to go in and out. And then I'm going to go down that middle as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the left side. Add your tapestry, and then do the same thing. Go in, out, and down the middle. Okay, so now that I ran all those 4 down, now we're gonna cut them. Being careful not to cut anything else. And we have finished your first small Easter basket in 3-tone color. There it is, it's done, it's complete. And if you enjoyed this and you love this, please like and subscribe, as it helps my small channel. I'm trying to get 500 followers to get monetized. We're almost there, halfway-ish. And I'm excited for you guys to make these. Continue to make more of these. Customize these yourself with colors, however you love. And I'll see you on the next fun tutorial.